Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I do want to speak about Hansi Flick approving the deal of Frimpong. So not only do we have sources coming from Spain confirming this story, but now we do have the ever reliable Fabrizio Romano stating that Frimpong has Hansi Flick's seal of approval. He has watched him many times and really appreciates the player. In case Cancelo's deal gets complicated, who is the priority for that position right now, Frimpong could merge as an option. He has also stated that the price is going to be around 40 to 45 million euros. Gerard Romero also stated the Frimpong option is gaining strength at Barcelona. He is one of Hansi Flick's greatest wishes. Gigantes also confirmed Flick wants him next season. Oriol Dominic also claimed Flick has asked for his signing and he is a priority for him. So it is quite clear that Frimpong is going to be just right there next to Joshua Kimmich and Nico Williams in terms of priority signings. And this is not the first time we have heard about Frimpong being linked to Barcelona. Hansi Flick has been wanting this player since he got appointed as the coach of FC Barcelona. We have even talked about this before on this YouTube channel. So I do understand that there are new people who come into this channel every day, and I do want to give everybody here a grasp of trying to understand who the player is and why Barcelona wants him. We're also going to be speaking about what position he could take up and what would be the perfect starting 11 that would allow for us to have Frimpong on the field with a team that is also very balanced. So it is going to be a very interesting video. If you guys end up liking this video and you guys have gained some value after watching this video, please support this channel by clicking the subscribe button and also liking this video. I would really appreciate it. So Jeremie Frimpong is a 23-year-old right wing back who represents the Netherlands and Bayer Leverkusen. As we can see here on his transfer history, he spent his youth years at Man City from July 1st, 2016 until September 2nd, 2019. He left City in the summer of 2019 to go to Celtic, and one of the main reasons why he left in the summer of 2019 is because that was also the exact same summer where Man City brought in Joao Cancelo. Joao Cancelo came in on August 7, 2019. A month later, Frimpong left because he understood that there was no chance for him to get any minutes. At that time, Cancelo and Frimpong played in the exact same position. So Frimpong understood that he needed to leave, and that is why he left to Celtic and played there for 2 years. He eventually joined Bayer Leverkusen in 2020, and he has had 4 seasons with Bayer Leverkusen so far. And in the previous season, he won the league with Xabi Alonso, and he also scored the goal that knocked out West Ham out of the Europa League and kept Leverkusen's remarkable unbeaten run throughout the season. So as you can see through his goals and assists, his numbers were only increasing by the season. In the first season with Leverkusen, obviously he did not do much. He had 1 assist and that was about it. In the next season, 2 goals and 8 assists. In the following season, 9 goals and 10 assists. And then in the next season, which was the season that we have just finished, he provided 14 goals and 10 assists. This is remarkable, and you can truly see the growth in this player. So I am going to be bringing up some quotes that Jeremie Frimpong said to the media that would allow us to understand what is his current level and what is his playing style. So this is what he stated, and I quote, "In the beginning, it was never like, I can't make it here. This is not my level. But in the Bundesliga, I would come across players who were just as quick as me, and I couldn't just rely on my speed anymore. I couldn't beat players as easily. I had to work really hard, defensively as well, because the quality going to the other way was higher." So yes, it was true. There were some tough moments in the beginning of Frimpong's career at Bayer Leverkusen. Frimpong did not even become a starter until the 2nd season at Leverkusen. He went from playing to an attacker to playing as a defender, and then eventually converted into an ultra aggressive wing back. So then he continued, "I have always been on the right side. I started at Man City as a right winger, but then as I moved through the age groups, I think it was when I was in the under 16s, that's when I became a right back. But at Celtic, when we had the ball, I was playing like a winger. The actual winger would move inside, drag his marker with him, and I would just go out and into space. It was quite similar when I first came to Leverkusen." Fast forward a couple of months later, he also spoke about his evolution as he got into his 4th season with Bayer Leverkusen under Xabi Alonso, and this is where things really did change for him. We started to embrace a much more dynamic Frimpong, somebody who also relied on his speed. It was fundamental towards his success in 2024. He also became a master at timing when making his runs as a wingback. Sometimes we even saw him as the highest player on the pitch, as if he was a striker. So he is definitely not the player that he was 3.5 years ago. He is much more, I would say, effective and efficient and more destructive in the final third, because Xabi Alonso realizes that his potential is in the final third, is not at the defensive line. When you create a system and a team where your team is made to attack, to put as many men forward, that is where a player like Jeremie Frimpong can really thrive in. And so this is what Frimpong had to say about his current situation. "I know when to take my opponents on now. That's definitely it. I know when to release the ball. I've had to change my game a lot because teams tend to double team me now. When they would first do that, I would still just try to take the defense on. 2 or 3 players, I was doing the same thing and I'd lose the ball. I still try that sometimes, don't get me wrong, but when they gang up on me, there's always a spare man, and I have become so much better at using that. I know, for instance, that if I'm getting double teamed, then because of the style we play, the number 6 will always be free and that pass will be there. That's just about team chemistry. It's the same for the other players. One of my attributes is speed and how to attack space, so the team knows what I'm doing or going to do and where I'm going to be. My positioning has to get better. I need to read the game more with the ball and without them. It's probably true that I am an attacking fullback and everyone can see that, but I want to be in a position where I'm not relying too much on my speed, and I feel like my end product has improved a lot over the years, but the positions I get into the box, I still think I can do so much more. So you can clearly tell that he has self-analyzed himself. He knows his weaknesses, he knows his strengths, and he knows where he needs to improve on. If we also look at the graph here, this is going to be his passing map and how many passes he has made into the box. He's very much a high volume player and a player who is also not afraid to make a cross into the box in deep areas. Frimpong is a player that has shown he is one of the fastest in his league, and he will definitely be one of the fastest players in La Liga if he were to move to FC Barcelona. He operates very well under counterattacks. He's not a player that would start the counterattack. He's somebody who finishes the counterattack, making the last key pass into the box. He's also really good at functioning within tight spaces. This is something that Bale fails in, but Frimpong, because of his high technical quality, he can move around 1 to 2 players when he is being marked. So he is a player that has shown that he can complete a back 5. Does that mean that Barcelona will go into a back 5 if Frimpong is in the squad? I don't think so, but he definitely can help when he does need to drop deep, but many men do need to be there. So while yes, Xabi Alonso sometimes does trust him as a right back, his true talents is in the final third. He has a lot of stamina, he can take it, he can take a lot of runs, he does not get tired, and I want us to notice something here. Does this not remind you of a certain player 13 to 14 years ago? And that player that I am talking about is Bale, who played at Tottenham and represented Real Madrid later in his career. Bale, when he was at Tottenham, played as a wing back, and sometimes around 30 to 40% of the time he was a left back. So he started off in that way. Bale was that type of player, and everybody was saying Bale's so good in the attack, why can't we just convert him into an attacker? Bale does not need to be on the left back position and start making his runs from there. We can just save his stamina and energy and have him bring all of his energy into the final third. And that was one of the main concerns and questions before he moved to Real Madrid. Everybody was saying, what position is he going to be taking? Is he going to continue to be a fullback or left back, or is Real Madrid going to convert him into a right winger? And that is what we saw. Real Madrid converted him into a right winger and became one of the best right wingers in the world. He was dangerous, and I feel like the same thing could go on with FC Barcelona. Frimpong, yes, is a great right back who knows how to attack, but his talents is somewhere else, and his role is definitely going to change at Barcelona. I believe that if Hansi Flick successfully brings Frimpong in, he'll create a system where he can generate a lot of attacking opportunities for Frimpong to flourish in. So I believe that this whole conversation about Frimpong coming in for Cancelo cannot really exist, because we're talking about two very different players with different situations. I believe Frimpong would come to Barcelona to play as a right winger, not as a right back. Maybe yes, you start him off in the right back position in the beginning of the game, but his main area of work is going to rely on the right flank right next to Yamal. This is not the case for Joao Cancelo. I mean, really think about this, right? He has played 48 matches last season with Bayer Leverkusen, and he scored 14 goals and provided 12 assists. If you place those numbers to Barcelona, Frimpong automatically becomes Barcelona's second best goal scorer, right behind Lewandowski with a total of 19 goals, and he automatically becomes the best assist player within Barcelona, beating Gundogan's 9 assists. So it's crazy. Frimpong has to see the attacking side of the game, and that's what's going to lead me towards what our 11 could look like if he were to come. That of course needs to require some balance, because I believe that if you have an 11 that includes Balde and Frimpong, that's suicide football. You cannot have that. The balance will not look good, and we will get destroyed at the back if we have those two players on. Very similar to Cancelo and Balde, and how Xavi tried that in the beginning of the previous season. So I believe that yes, we'll start in a 4-2-3-1. But remember, when you start in a certain formation, that does not mean that you're always like that. Your formation does change depending on whether you have the ball or not and where you are on the pitch. Assuming that Barcelona have the ball, they go into the attack. This 4-2-3-1 system automatically goes into a 3-2-4-1 in my opinion. Christensen will see the left back position. Yes, of course, it's going to look a little awkward at first, but then when you convert into a 3-2-4-1, Christensen forms a back three with Araujo and Koundé with Frimpong going up there into the attack, completing the four-man attacking line and sitting with Lamine Yamal. On the left side, we're going to be having Pedri and Nico Williams. Nico Williams is not going to be the left back, remember. Just think about the Bale situation, but it's going to be reversed. The player from the defense that is going to go up will be on the right side, and that is Frimpong. So we have Koundé, Araujo, Christensen, and Gavi and Kimmich as the double pivot, with Lamine Yamal and Pedri as the interiors, and Nico Williams and Frimpong as the wide players. And of course, we will have Lewandowski as the main striker. It's a very strong starting 11 that I believe has a lot of balance, has a lot of athleticism, a lot of speed and pace, and total control in the middle of the pitch. I do love a formation like this because it allows for players like Gundogan, Fermin Lopez, and Frankie de Jong to also get into the team and rotating with Kimmich, Gavi, and Pedri. Christensen for me has to be a starter because he has been amazing at the Euros. Christensen against England played 90 minutes, had a 100% aerial duel rate, also had a 100% ground duel rate. 2 out of 2 long balls were completed and had a 94% pass accurate rate. In the previous game that Christensen played in the Euros, he had a 100% pass accurate rate. So in total, this guy only misplaces 1 pass out of every 200, and that is insane. To have Christensen, who is one of the leaders in Denmark, to sit next to Araujo and Koundé at the back gives me a lot of confidence that they can take care of the back line. You have 3 leading center backs, Koundé, Araujo, and Andreas Christensen. They're all very athletic, extremely strong. They can cover a lot of space at the back, and that is once again the reason why I feel like this does bring the most balance. And then you have Gavi and Kimmich protecting Araujo, Koundé, and Christensen. In the attack, I just think that you have something special. Right now, Spain have the most lethal wide threat in the Euros, like for sure. Italy, when they faced against them, they could not cope with the amount of athleticism that Pedri, Lamine Yamal, and Nico Williams were bringing. On both flanks, Yamal and Nico, they were so electric, so fast, so efficient. Like literally, Italy was having a tough time. Right now, in terms of successful take-ons per 90 at the Euros, we have Saka, who is in 4th, Musiala in 3rd place with a total of 3.7, and you know who's in the top 2 right now in terms of successful take-ons per 90? It is Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal. Nico Williams is in 2nd place with a total of 3.7, and Lamine Yamal is in 1st place with a total of 4.0. We need to have an attacking line that contains Lamine Yamal, Pedri, and Nico Williams. Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal are so fun to watch. You can truly tell that every time they play and represent the Spanish national team, and especially in the Euros, they understand each other and they know what they need to do. They cause so much damage. If you give these players 2 or 3 years at Barcelona, constantly playing every weekend, they're going to be one of the most dangerous teams in Europe, and we have to start that this summer. This is going to be a picture of Nico Williams' strongest position. As you can see, one of the players of Italy just drops down because he simply could not handle Nico Williams dribbling, and then you can see Pedri's position, always waiting inside the box as almost like a 10. This is going to be something very similar to what we're going to be seeing with Barcelona next season. Pedri will be waiting for those balls coming from Nico, and then you have situations where Nico just says, you know what, screw Pedri, screw Morata, screw Lamine Yamal, I don't care, I'm going to be taking this on by myself. And you can see him taking shots from outside the box. Yes, he has that type of ability. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons why Spain even won this game against Italy 1-0 is because Nico Williams was making very dangerous crosses into the box, and I believe players like Lewandowski, Pedri, and Lamine Yamal are going to be benefiting off of that greatly. And then of course on the right side, you will be having Lamine Yamal, who is going to be inverting himself centrally. That's going to allow for Frimpong to make those overlapping runs and to exist around Lamine Yamal. It's the perfect chemistry. Frimpong loves to be out wide, and they can exchange roles. If Frimpong wants to come in with the ball, Lamine Yamal can go out wide, no problem. We have seen Yamal go into wide areas and still become very dangerous. And so when Frimpong is not there in the starting 11, of course Hansi Flick can go into a whole other different 11. If Frimpong is either injured or he needs rest, or simply we just need to rotate, we can just go back into a 4-3-3. Very simple. Put Koundé back into the right back position, have Araujo and Kubarsi as our main center backs, and Bale on the left back position. It's fine, right? Everybody gets to play. This is not going to be like the set starting 11 and they're going to be playing like this for every minute in every game. You are going to be seeing very different 11s, and all players get their chances to shine. It allows for Barcelona to be flexible, very unpredictable, and that means that the opponent, whoever we're going to be facing, they're going to be guessing, and they're going to be trying to analyze how Barcelona could approach them. And that's hard because when you have different players with different skill sets that can play in different formations, it will make Barcelona unstoppable. So I am very enthusiastic about this signing of Frimpong. It gives Barcelona a whole other different weapon, and I would love to see that next season. Let's hope that they can get this signing done. Of course, there is a priority. We have to sign a DM first, and that DM most likely will be Joshua Kimmich and Mikel Merino as also a backup option, and then we'll move on forward with the signing of Nico Williams. From there, then we can begin the operation of Jeremie Frimpong. So that is it. That is going to be be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.